So good morning to you all. And how many of you have attempted prelims this time? Anybody had done that? Or have you seen that paper or have observed it? So how was it? How do you feel about it? So it was one of the toughest. Question paper. So PSIR, my name is Ratnakar and he is Vishwanath. So we'll be handling the demo today, and there will be another sir also. He will also be joining later. So all of you are from this institute or somebody? You are from outside. So all of you are from this institute only. And have you decided your optional, or you are still in the process of deciding? How many of you have decided that it will be your optional? So only 4 have decided. Okay, so it's a good thing to observe also. Like political science and international relations is one of the most attractive options. All of you may be knowing it. Vishwanath will also show you the data and all those things about this. And many of the top rankers, I need not say, that come from political science and international relations. So why this optional? So the first question you have to put to yourself is, why this optional? Because it is one of the high scoring optionals and one of the most fancied optional, because not only that it will help you in your optional paper, but it will be helping across all the papers. That means it will build your capacity. Like if you take a PSIR, Political Science and International Relations, this particular optional will be there in GS paper 1, and some amount of it will be there, the influence of it will be there in your essay. It will be there in GS paper 2 is almost completely PSIR only, and paper 3, like that it impact is there across all your papers. So you may get a little bit less marks in the optional, but that will be covered in other areas. That is why, like if you see the syllabus and all, you have so many chapters, but to have a deeper outlook about it, if you here we have part A in paper 1, part B, part A and part B. Here also paper 2, part A and part B. So actually in political science, if you have a deeper dive into this particular syllabus, part B, you have to anyway study in your general studies. Like in modern India history, in your GS paper 2 polity, government schemes and society, you have to study part B. That means not only the political science student, but all other students also study part B. They have to study part B, which means for the students who are opting for political science, there is no need to make an additional effort to study another particular section. Then coming to part B here, this is international relations. So international relations you have to study as part of your GS paper 2. You have to study that. That means political science students have to study only part A and part A in paper 1 and paper 2. And if you study these things, particularly the part A in paper 1, that impact or the knowledge you gain will be helpful in your ethics also, in your interview also. Like that, political science, contrary to what people say, the syllabus is, a lot of syllabus is there. Contrary to that, political science syllabus is quite less. That means, on a whole, you are studying only one paper. While all other optional students study 2 papers, you will be studying only one paper only. You will be studying only one paper, and that also is interesting. Little bit on the drier side, paper 2 part A will be there, little bit drier, but this part A is quite interesting. That means you have to he will develop an interest towards that subject. Like how? Like for example, we have a country here. How this country was formed? Country in the sense, I'm not talking about India. I'm talking about all the countries in the world. How these countries were formed? What is the idea that had driven these countries? The formation of these countries. So that the formation of state, the philosophy behind the formation of state, all of them would be quite interesting. All of them. Or like why there is a war in Iran. So what are the philosophical reasons for that war in Iran? So all these things, this particular subject will teach you. Or why Pakistan cannot be a good friend of India. Why China cannot be a good friend of India. So what is the reason for that? Kautilya said that long back, hundreds of years back, Kautilya said, your neighbor will never be your friend. Don't trust your neighbor. Neighbor's neighbor will be your friend. Like China's neighbor, Russia will be your friend, but China cannot be your friend. So it is interesting. Like the education system you are studying, LKG, UKG, first class, 10th standard, and all these things. When was it first invented? When was it first invented? Do you have any idea? Plato had proposed this kind of education system. So what drove Plato to propose this kind of education system? So all these things are explained neatly in political science. The concept of secularism. What do you mean by secularism? We are a secular country, right? Though there are doubts, no. But we are a secular country. That means the state, that means the government is not in favor of or is not against any religion. Is our government not in favor of a religion? Huh? Anyway, but why this ideology came? What is the reason for this ideology? Whose ideology or whose idea was secularism? It was in Europe. So through Machiavellian theory, it came. So during the period of that Renaissance, people were fed up with the church because church is intruding into their lives. Church is involving a lot. Church is deciding, or Pope is deciding who should become the next king or when we should have a war. People got fed up with this involvement of church. Then Machiavelli wrote a book. He said the king or the prince should not follow religious principles. Donald Trump is a Christian, right? He will take oath on Bible. What is there in Bible? What did Jesus Christ profess? He said that you must love your enemy. Then why Donald Trump killed Ayatollah Khomeini? Because religion is different, politics are different. Politics are different. That is what Machiavelli said. Machiavelli said, enough is enough. Don't follow religion. Religion is for us, for common people. The law or the rules for king are different. The rules for common people are different. Such a type of beautiful ideology you will be learning in this particular subject. It will improve your personality. Once you study political science, you may not get a service, but your personality will definitely get improved. But why many people are preferring it? And people who like to read, you require voracious reading when it comes to political science. Now we'll try to make it as simple as possible, but you require voracious reading. You must love what is happening in the courts, what is happening in the parliament, what is happening in our political domain, what is happening internationally. You must love that stuff. What people don't understand is those things are more entertaining than the movies. The best Oscar winning actors are Narendra Modi and Donald Trump, not So how they act, how they behave. They say one thing today and they say don't buy gold, don't buy petrol, don't waste it, and you went on a tour of 5 countries. So all these things, what you say, what you do is different. So I am not blaming him. That tour was fixed long back, but you may suddenly say, this fellow said this, and what is he doing like that? So if you follow how they act, like for example, West Bengal Chief Minister, who is the Chief Minister now? Subhendu Adhikari is the Chief Minister. So around 2017, Narendra Modi himself said, Subhendu Adhikari is the most corrupt person in West Bengal, and there is a video also showing him that he will take bribe and put it like this. And now Subhendu Adhikari became cleanest person because he was put into BJP's washing machine. Like that, you can enjoy all these things. You can enjoy all these things by studying this. So develop, inculcate that interest. And if you have that type of interest, only take political science. Then you will enjoy the subject. You will love the subject. And that knowledge will also help you in other papers. Like there are some of our students, whom we know, who went to interview, but they got, interview means they have a lot of capacity, they have a lot of stuff inside them, but they got 24 marks in GS paper 2. 24 out of how much? 24 marks. That means polity, IR, society and all these things can't be handled by other students, like how they can be handled by a political science student. What is the average mark in GS paper 2? For many of the good students, they get around 80, 85 like that. But you can push it to 120, 130 if you are a political science student, because your analysis of things will improve. And what are many people saying? Go and watch the videos of all big institutes who are shell-shocked after looking at the question paper for prelims. Many of them are even demanding re-exam also, which will not happen, but they are demanding. Why are they doing it? And why are people shell-shocked? Because the size of the question paper is too big. The moment you finish one page, the moment you finish one question, it will take 10 minutes because you are not a voracious reader, you don't know how to read properly, you have not prepared for mains. And what many people are saying, those who prepared for mains will be able to answer this question paper, better, not easy. It is never easy. It is not at all easy. It's a different type of setting of the question paper. But if you are a political science student, you could have got more marks in the prelims paper. Understand? The understanding of things, the objective analysis of the concepts will automatically improve. Except for 3-4 chapters, all other chapters are quite interesting in political science. So that is why what we advise students is, if you take political science, you can carefully, your portion will little bit, not fully, but it will get reduced to a lot extent. So that is one advantage. But one thing is, you must have interest in politics. You must have interest in how the governance is being carried out. You must have interest in how the society is moving. You must have interest in how new things are propping up. So how the dynamics of the world are changing. Without that interest, not just political science, you can't even wade your way through civil service also. Understand? So that is a fact. So it is up to you to decide. But one thing is, you must read more. And another advantage of having political science as an optional is, somewhere about 50 to 60% of the questions get repeated. Because all these are ideologies, no? Ideologies of Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, then John Rawls, all these people. So we can't bring them back to write new theories, no? So those theories only we have to study. And those theories you can give a an example of modern times, like why these things are happening, why this type of incident has occurred, and all these things. That is why questions repeat. I'm not trying to give a complete optimistic picture, like, but usually 50 to 70% questions will repeat. Sometimes it may be 45 only, but the concepts are same. So you study Indian national movement in GS paper 2. What will be the new approach to Indian national movement? Unless there are new books saying that somebody else had did it apart from Mahatma Gandhi. So it won't happen. So it won't happen. So that is why this subject, many people take this subject. Because many people take it, the competition also will be more. So you should be better prepared. So Vishwanath will tell you how we are going to approach this, how we'll be giving you questions, how we will be giving you materials, and what type of tests we'll be carrying out, because it is a long process. Nothing is short in civil service. Civil service is a very easy exam, but you must give it time. You must give it enough amount of time. If you give it time, it is easy exam. You can't do it like 10th standard, studying 20 important questions in the last 10 days and getting 90% marks. That won't happen in civil service. So over a period of time, like you have to give some 5-6 months for your optional, like that you must give time. So be prepared for that. And if you have genuine interest in what the things that are happening around you, and if you have an interest about developing your thought also, why a certain incident is happening, why cockroach movement is hitting India now, why? Not just that, that spurred that, but already there was disgruntlement. Recently I found out that majority of youth voted for Congress party in 2024 election. I was under the impression that youth will always vote for BJP only, but majority of them voted for Congress party not because they like Congress party. They were looking for an alternative. They are fed up with what is happening in this country, like how the youth in the other countries have got fed up, like in Nepal, like in Bangladesh. So you need an incident. So people are not, or your generation is not taking things lying down. They are not liking lies told by the governments. So these are the things why society is changing like this. So you must observe those things, you must read those things, you must make an objective assessment of those things. All those things are interesting, right? Because tomorrow you are going to lead this society, you are going to lead this country. So you will become definitely will become a better person. That will reflect in your interview also. Interview they'll examine, no? It's not like state government exams. They'll observe what is your personality. You can't hide it. Though you wear a suit and get dressed well and go there, you can't hide it. They'll somehow abstract it. So you must also repair your personality. That will also, this particular subject will help you. And repairing your personality will help you score more marks in ethics. Otherwise, how ethical you are, your writing will reflect that. Okay, so these are the things which you will gain by taking this subject. But one thing is sure, you will enjoy it. Political science, you will enjoy it. So with that, I'll close. He will take over. Vishwanath will give you an objective analysis of how, what are the questions, or how the subjects are there. I mean, how the topics are there and all those things. You can ask doubts after this. Okay.
Hello, am I audible? Yes. So good morning one and all. మై నేమ్ ఈజ్ విశ్వనాథ్. నా పేరు విశ్వనాథ్. నేను ఒక తెలుగు అబ్బాయిని. సో నేను కూడా వీళ్ళందరిలాగా యూపీఎస్సి ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి ఎగ్జామ్ రాసి పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ ఆప్షనల్ తీసుకుని ఫస్ట్ అటెంప్ట్ నుంచి ఎగ్జామ్ రాసి నా ఇంటర్వ్యూ 2022లో ఇచ్చాను. సో ఐ స్కోర్డ్ అరౌండ్ 270 మార్క్స్ ఇన్ మై ఆప్షనల్. That year being the best of all my optional, all my scores. Even I ended up getting 115 marks in my general studies too. So whatever sir told in you for the last half an hour was more or less a journey that I also went through, right? Starting with a phase of so many questions about political science. నేను ఎప్పుడైతే ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్లో ఐ హోప్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ ఆర్ కంఫర్టబుల్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. ఐ విల్ స్విచ్ బిట్వీన్ తెలుగు అండ్ ఇంగ్లీష్. నేను కూడా మీలాగే ఆప్షనల్ స్టార్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏ ఆప్షనల్ తీసుకోవాలి, ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ నిజంగా చెప్పాలంటే నేను ఫస్ట్ టైం ఫామ్ సబ్మిట్ చేసినప్పుడు జాగ్రఫీతో సబ్మిట్ చేశాను. జాగ్రఫీ వాజ్ మై ఆప్షనల్. బట్ యూపీఎస్సీ యూ కెన్ సబ్మిట్ మల్టిపుల్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఇన్ ఎ ఇయర్. ద లేటెస్ట్ ఫార్మ్ దట్ యూ సబ్మిట్ ఈజ్ యువర్ ఫైనల్ ఫార్మ్ దే కన్సిడర్. సో February when the form came, I submitted with geography. But when the last date was approaching, I understood that geography was not my cup of tea. So I immediately changed and applied another one with political science. So what changed in that moment of time in those 20 days and how it made me a political science student, score so many marks in political science and become a political science faculty for the last 5 to 7 years is what I will talk for 5 minutes. Friends, political science is not taken by people who have a normal straightforward attitude. Political science is especially taken by students who have a deep interest in the society and polity of the country. So what do I mean by that? Oka society ante evaru? Nothing but individuals. We all make up a society, right? So oka society oka individuals kalipite family avutundi. Families kalipite society avutundi. సొసైటీస్ కలిపితే మనం స్టేట్ అంటాం మోడర్న్ పొలిటికల్ లాంగ్వేజ్. సో వీళ్ళందరి ఇంటర్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ ఎలా ఉంది అని స్టడీ చేయాలని ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఈ టాపిక్ తీసుకుంటారు. బికాస్ దే ఆర్ ది మోస్ట్ డైనమిక్ పీపుల్ యూ విల్ ఎవర్ ఫైండ్. మీకు అదర్ స్ట్రీమ్స్ ఆఫ్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్లో వన్స్ ఇన్ డెకేడ్స్ an event or a phenomena will happen, but in political science it's a phenomena every day. That the best example is your newspaper. If you take the newspaper, your phenomena of political science or your concept of political science is ever living, is present on a day-to-day basis. So ఎవరైతే ఇలాంటి పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఆన్ ఏ డే-టు-డే బేసిస్ అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకుని ఒక డైనమిక్ మైండ్ సెట్ ఉంటారో వాళ్ళే ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ తీసుకుంటారు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఆపోజిట్ టు ద ఫ్యాక్ట్ దట్ పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ ఈజ్ ఎ స్టాటిక్ టాపిక్. It is, if you ask me, as good as physics or even more than physics. It's not because I'm a political science faculty or a student. I'll just prove you with a point. Every science is nothing but cause and effect, right? I say political science is even more cause and effect. In fact, history is a cause and present is an effect of political science. And present is again the cause for the future. So ఇంత ఇంటర్కనెక్టెడ్ గా నడిచే రోజే పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్. సో వెన్ ఐ టుక్ అప్ దిస్ టాపిక్, వెన్ ఐ సా జాగ్రఫీ, యాక్చువల్లీ ఐఎమ్ ఎన్ ఇంజనీర్, సో జాగ్రఫీ వాజ్ ఎ న్యాచురల్ చాయిస్. సింపుల్గా నాకు అక్కడ లాస్ ఆఫ్ ఫిజిక్స్ ఉంటాయి, నేను ప్లేనార్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ గీయచ్చు, ఇట్ వాస్ వెరీ సింపుల్ ఫర్ మీ. బట్ సమ్హౌ ఇట్ డింట్ స్ట్రిక్ మై ఇంట్రెస్ట్. వెన్ ఐ సా పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్, ఇమీడియట్లీ ఐ అండర్స్టూడ్ ద ఇంటర్కనెక్టెడ్ నేచర్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ది పేపర్స్. స్టార్టింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఫస్ట్ టాపిక్ నుంచి తీసుకుంటే లాస్ట్ టాపిక్ వరకు, in one way or the other it was connected. I will show you how it's connected, and not just is connected, I can see it on a day-to-day basis. When sir is talking about Donald Trump or India-US relationship, you can find it in your 2A paper and also your 2B paper, right? So నాకు పేపర్లో కనపడింది అని చెప్పి నేను దాన్ని చదవాలా, లేదా గ్రౌండ్ మీద జరుగుతుంది, which is more exciting, that makes me read political science. So that is one of the reason, the sheer dynamism of the paper or relatability on a day-to-day basis is what inspired me to take political science. సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే మీకు ఇప్పుడు ఇంత అవేర్నెస్ కూడా నాకు అప్పుడు లేదు పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ తీసుకున్నాడు. No one took such a class for me. No one explained me for some time that what is political science, what is the in-depth analysis of political science. No one took me. But just out of dynamism, I took the topic. So I also attended classes like you. I wrote notes for each and every topic that was possible because I'm an engineer. I don't know what to do. So I wrote notes. Along with notes, I just did one more thing which I always like is writing. Today morning they told the notes. Today evening I went back to home. I just made short notes of the notes. Like today morning they explained me what is political theory. Either it's a statistical approach or a value based approach, they explained me today morning. Just the night home I went, I took up my notes, take a pencil, underlined it, wrote the short notes out of it. So by the time my coaching was over, my short notes was already prepared. Because my short notes was already prepared, by the end of coaching, I already revised my topic twice, once in class, once in my short notes. From that moment of time, I revised my short notes so many number of times that I end up standing here. Right? So that is the one thing that helped me in my exam. Right? Class baga vini notes raskunnam. Sir, but next what happened? I gave political science twice I gave my mains. First time I got less marks. In fact, I'll be honest, I got only 190. From 195 marks, I jumped to 270 marks in one mains examination. How did I end up doing it? Very simple. After 195, I understood that I could not even complete my paper. So I made myself a challenge that next time around, it is not about marks, I'll just finish my paper and come. So I ended up writing so many questions that when I saw my paper, it was not at all new for me. Every question I ended up writing. I ended up writing so much that my paper 1 was 150 marks. Paper 2, I had COVID that day. So I got 120 marks. So just to give you a point that we can get so many marks given that you form a structured position. Right? So I told my journey from there. So alage I continued teaching when I was being a student also. From then I continued on. So ee crux anta meeku enduku cheppanante a normal person without much introduction to the subject also, I ended up being decently good, doing decently good in the topic because I stuck with the syllabus. So we will take from there to understand what is actually in the paper. Because can I know what is the background of most of you? Are you engineers or are you from political science background? How many are engineers? Okay, how many are you from civics background or law background? Very few of you. Okay, fine. So it is important for us ఏ టాపిక్ అయినా తీసుకున్నప్పుడు కొన్ని బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ చెక్స్ తీసుకోవాలి. మీరు ఈ సిలబస్ తీసుకుంటారు నేను అట్లా ఏ టాపిక్ చేసినా కొన్ని బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ చెక్స్. ఫస్ట్, కెన్ వీ అండర్స్టాండ్ ద టాపిక్ దట్ వీఆర్ టేకింగ్ ఆర్ నాట్? లెట్ అస్ బి హానెస్ట్. ఫస్ట్ మనం మాట్లాడే టర్మినాలజీస్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మనకు అర్థమవుతున్నాయా లేదా? ఫస్ట్ అండ్ ఫార్మోస్ట్ చెక్. Once that happens, at least you can go back and read on your own. Right? The second check is what is the length? Right? Am I here to write a UPSC exam or am I here to do a PhD? I'm here to write a UPSC exam and get it at the earliest, right? That's the second check. Third check is it feasible? Right? నేను తీసుకుంటే నాకున్న టైంలో నేను దాన్ని కంప్లీట్ చేసి దాంట్లో మంచి మార్క్స్ తెచ్చుకోగలను. దట్స్ ద ఫోర్త్ పాయింట్, వయబిలిటీ. రైట్? సో దెర్ ఆర్ ప్రాక్టికలిటీ, feasibility and viability. Whether the topic is practically done by me or not, can I do it or not? Then whether it is feasible in the time period I have it or not. Third, whether it's viable or not. Why is viable? If I write it, I should get the marks. Not to say that I say political science, but I should write to get marks. Right? See, my approach would differ a little bit from the others faculty or the seniors because of one reason, that I have attempted the examination and in a way not been successful in that also. So I understand what it takes to sit there and then come here. Right? సో ఈ 3 పాయింట్స్ ఎప్పుడైనా ఏ టాపిక్ తీసుకున్నా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ప్రాక్టికాలిటీ, ఫీజిబిలిటీ అండ్ వయబిలిటీ, రైట్? సో విత్ దట్ వీ విల్ గెట్ ఇన్ టు ద సిలబస్. సిలబస్లోకి వెళ్ళే ముందు, టుడే ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు బోర్ యూ విత్ ఎ లాట్ ఆఫ్ showing you PPT, showing you these things and trying to, I want to tell you a small story of how can you understand political science in the easiest manner and how you can replicate and apply it. Let us start with the story. So for all of us, who is the most important person in the world? Huh? US President. No, I am asking for you individually. I am not asking you as a political science student. So we are important for ourselves. First, we will start with us. Let us suppose the whole center of your universe. The whole center of the universe starts with you, your individual, your world. You are the hero. నీ కథకి నువ్వే హీరో. మహేష్ బాబు అదేగా చెప్పేది, రైట్? సో it's very commonsensical that a set of individuals form families. Can I accept this, or can I say it is like a bigger unit? This I will say I, this I will say F. A set of families. What is set of families? Are manavadra. What is it? It's nothing but community. Right? Can I say a set of communities form a society? Right? Different people are sitting together. We as friends don't ask each other's communities, but we are friends. Yes, please. Right? That makes us into a larger whole called society. Ikkada community అని రాయొచ్చు, దీన్ని society అని రాయొచ్చు, right? Societies need to live in some place, right? We can administrative sense, there are a lot of units for it. Village is a unit, right? We call rural areas villages, urban areas, right? So we have so many nomenclatures. I can say a village, a city, right? Maybe I can call all of them into kind of a district, right? I will say maybe I will combine this into a district. So multiple societies together live at a district level. Now multiple districts together form into a state. So slowly I am moving into a administrative definition, but I am moving into bigger units. I will call this a state, or I will say a bigger union of communities, bigger union of societies, right? Indian case లో ఈ సొసైటీస్ అన్నిటినీ లింక్ చేసే ఒక ఆర్గానిజం ఉంది. ఏంటది? విచ్ వీ ఫైట్ ఫర్ ఆన్ ఏ డే టు డే బేసిస్. భాష, language and religion, language and region, right? In AP also there are multiple societies, but what is common among them? One of the common thing is language or region. Telugu jati gauravam, right? A amalgamation of many such states will form a nation. Now you should understand something from the figure and tell me what is happening in the figure in terms of geometry. Huh? What is it? The difference is increasing. Very good point. So you are saying all of them are living together, but because of some difference or the other, they are all diverging. Right? Friends, this is the pivotal point of what is your political science topic. That unless until all of them cannot stay together, you cannot form what is a macro organism called nation. In terms of administration, you can form states into a territory of a country. That will happen, right? Article 1 of Indian Constitution says the Union of India is an amalgamation of states. But for you to bring down these differences, you should know what is have a concept called nation. So nation ane concept edaithe undo, it has nothing to do with territory, but it has everything to do with a concept called oneness. Right? So this starts your foundational political science. So ante మీ మెంటల్ వైరింగ్ ఎలా ఉండాలి అని చూపించడానికి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాను మీకు. సో వెన్ సమ్వన్ సేస్ నేషన్, either you can identify it as okay fine, India is a nation because there are multiple districts, states, territories, and then we'll become one country. Or you can map this to say that we are an amalgamation of 140 crore people, which are many families, they become communities, communities become societies, societies become states, states become nation, but to become nation we should all be one together. Now your smartness of the Gen Z should come together. What is stopping us from this becoming nation? Come on, you can all tell me. ఈ గ్యాప్ ని పెంచే ఐటమ్స్ ఏమేంటివి? గుడ్, కమ్ ఆన్. గుడ్ 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 గుడ్. Culture can be a double-edged sword. Sometimes it can bring people together also. It need not be, but fine. I will take culture. Very good. Ideology. Come on. Regionalism. Race. Okay, fine. Very good. Socio-economic, already class it came, but I will write race for you also. So we will stop here, but let me tell you, if you go back to syllabus, you will be astonished that you have identified nine most important topics of part B of your PSIR syllabus. You can now go back and refer to part B of your syllabus. 1B, part 1B, see the last section of it, you will see ethnicity and Indian politics. 1B లో లాస్ట్ సెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, దాంట్లో క్యాస్ట్ ఇన్ ఇండియన్ పాలిటిక్స్, రిలీజియన్ ఇన్ ఇండియన్ పాలిటిక్స్, ఎథ్నిసిటీ ఇన్ ఇండియన్ పాలిటిక్స్, సోషియో ఎకనామిక్ డివిజన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ పాలిటిక్స్ అని ఉంటుంది. 1B లో లాస్ట్ 4-5 లైన్స్ లో ఉంటాయి. ఓకేనా? మీరు క్లాస్లో కూర్చుని ఐడెంటిఫై చేశారు కదా, జనాలు సంవత్సరాలు బట్టి చదివి దీనికి సెఫాలజీ అని ఒక టాపిక్ పేరు చెప్పారు. రైట్? పొలిటికల్ సోషాలజీ అండ్ సెఫాలజీ. సెఫాలజీ is a way you study the electoral trends based on them. Political sociology is a topic where you see how society affects politics of the day. అర్థమైందా? సో in a way your common theory when linked with the day-to-day affairs makes you a political science student, right? సో ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం ఏం కాన్సెప్ట్ నేర్చుకున్నాం? నేషన్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ నేర్చుకున్నాం, పొలిటికల్ సోషాలజీ నేర్చుకున్నాం. కానీ దానికంటే ముందు అసలు ఫస్ట్ మనం నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన ఇంకో కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటంటే పాలిటిక్స్. వాట్ ఈస్ పాలిటిక్స్? You see here, I drew only single direction lines. Now tell me, why should it be single direction lines? Is it always that an individual gives inputs to family? Does family not give inputs to individual? Is it not a single family decides the fate of a society? Is it not that society also disciplines a family by putting some moral guidelines? Is it not that communities control families and societies in a way control communities? Why is it not the reverse direction is also happening? In fact, it happens on a day-to-day basis. We should sit back and observe, right? So I will just change the figure a bit. And now I say, all the interactions happening in this dynamic equilibrium is nothing but part and parcel of politics. Right? In fact, sir, mean contest change. Sir, how are you saying, what if something happens in my family, how will it be politics of the day? That is why politics have two spheres. It is called a civic public sphere and a private sphere. A civic public sphere where your interaction with direct society starts, and to a family level starts called private sphere. And for your notice, friends, we have laws in only one of the sphere. Do we have laws only in the public sphere? We have laws in both the spheres. So to prove to your point that every interaction is important, India law anedi both spheres lo run avutundi, both in the private sphere and public sphere, right? Ee concept ni nothing but meer feminism ane political ideology lo private is political ane concept lo chaduvutaru. Nothing. This is another concept of political ideology that you will study, right? So once you start taking political science as pockets of knowledge, it will cause a ruckus for you because there are too many pockets to pick up. On the other hand, if you see it as an organism that works in a combined sense, it will be more clear, right? What are the concepts till now? I hope it's not mentally very heavy till now. Okay, at least you understood nation, you understood politics. ఈ రెండైతే అర్థమయ్యాయి కదా, నేషన్ పాలిటిక్స్ అర్థమయ్యాయి కదా, పొలిటికల్ సోషాలజీ అయితే అర్థమైంది కదా. Now we will go into a little bit of depth, little bit. So you said till here, sir, it's state. You said state, right? There are two ways in which you can accept a state. One, take the place they are living and call it a state, right? Take this playground and call it a state. Or two, take the domain in which all the interactions are happening and call it a state, right? Now place చెప్పినప్పుడు మీరు కాంక్రీట్ గా గుర్తు తెచ్చుకోగలరు. ఓకే, ఈ ప్లేస్ లో ఉన్నారు సార్, ఇన్ని గజాల్లో ఉన్నారు, ఇంత స్క్వేర్ ఏరియా. When I am talking about the interactions between different components, now it becomes a bit abstract entity for you, right? So ఏంటంటే కొంచెం మెంటల్ లెవెల్లో ఉంటుంది. సార్, you are talking about interactions about different people. And so this is ideally what we call a difference between a state and a government. You will regularly come across both these concepts in your political science. State is something which is an abstract entity. It is like a trust. What is this trust to do? All the activities that goes on in a state, this will oversee, but that is an abstract concept. Now we all sometimes cannot comprehend abstract entities. So what we did, we formed a concrete entity called government. So government అనగానే మనకు వెంటనే గుర్తొస్తుంది, సార్ we have a president, prime minister, council of ministers, chief minister అని చెప్పి. So why? A very very important aspect called accountability. So this is an abstract thing. So here something happens, you cannot pin down on someone, but here if you do, you can pin down the accountability on a person and get it corrected, right? So this is another political concept that you will see in your working, the difference between state and government, right? Now let us understand, what will the government do? On a day-to-day basis it will work, right? So let us suppose they started working, right? When they started working, two families came. He said, sir, our family has a history, we know the geography, right? You are a mystery, so what should we do? They claim that they are the most important family in the whole of the world. The other said, sir, we are also no less, we are something like that. So now the government is in a very big problem. What to do? There are two big families, big names. What we should do, right? So the government comes up with a weighing scale. It comes up with a weighing scale to see, let us suppose I am actually giving 100 rupees to one family, whether I am giving the same to other one or not, right? Now what is the English word for this? What is the English word for this? Very good. Equality is what is the concept that you will learn of how government tries to balance out different families, communities or society in a state, right? But now let me ask you the question only. Is ever equality possible? Very good. You are more commonsensical than most of the people on this earth. So that is why equality in political science is called as a utopian concept. Equality is called as a utopian value or utopian concept. That is why the only people who call for absolute equality are history. The only set of people who call for absolute equality are Marxists. They are slowly history. Communists, they are also becoming history in the country, right? So that is why equality has been packaged into different terms called normative equality, substantive equality and procedural equality. ఏమీ లేదు, టర్మ్స్ కొంచెం గట్టిగా చెప్పడం వల్ల పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ అనిపిస్తుంది, నథింగ్ మచ్. Procedural equality means you give equality in terms of the different procedures that the government follows. Substantive equality means you just go ahead and give additional privileges, right? Examples could chepta. Reservation system is a substantive equality in the country, right? When you apply for UPSC, all are considered equally. That is nothing but procedural equality, right? So non-discrimination is procedural equality and giving additional privileges is nothing but substantive equality, right? Now good, sir, equality is there, but equality now only 2 families came, but day after 10 families came. Now 10 families from different background came. They said that, sir, nothing doing, now the state is pakka biased, the state is biased only towards 2 families, we cannot run like this, you are out, we will take you out. They say like something like this. then the government has to come up with a new ideology. Now it takes a 90-degree turn and brings a vertical balance. Now what is the vertical balance that our సబ్జీ వాలాడు కూరగాయల వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడు, ఇలా పట్టుకుంటాడు, కొంచెం అటు సైడ్ వెళ్ళిపోతే ఇలా వంగిపోతాడు, కొంచెం అటు సైడ్ వెళ్ళిపోతే ఇలా వంగిపోతాడు. వాట్ ఈజ్ హీ డూయింగ్? బ్యాలెన్సింగ్. కెన్ ఐ ఫైండ్ ఎ బెటర్ పాలిష్డ్ వర్డ్ ఫర్ బ్యాలెన్స్? వేర్ డూ యూ ఫైండ్ దిస్ బ్యాలెన్స్? సినిమా చూడట్లేదు మీరు సరిగ్గా. వేర్ డూ యూ ఫైండ్ దిస్ బ్యాలెన్స్? You are not watching movies properly. I am very sad. Good. For you we will teach this feminism. Where do you see this balance? Justice system. So the vertical balance is nothing but the concept of justice, where it is trying to balance between different communities. E divide, vertical, horizontal divide is vertical divide. This brings us to the pivotal concept in political science, that can equality and justice ever run parallelly? No. In a same system, justice and equality meet at a compromising point, but not always same together. So when someone asks, is justice more or equality more, you can never pick one. They intersect at a perpendicular point. They are not parallels, right? They intersect at one point, which is the common minimum for a society to run. Once this balance moves more towards equality, the justice gets affected. The justice takes more precedence, the equality gets affected. So have you now observed the pattern of the diagram? It's a balance. The society enta balanced ga untundo, మనకి అంత బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ లైఫ్ ఉంటుంది. ద మోర్ బ్యాలెన్స్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ టేక్స్, ది అదర్ సైడ్ విల్ లూజ్ ఇట్. గాట్ ఇట్? దిస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ కెన్ బి ఎయిదర్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ ది community affairs, societal affairs, state wise affairs, any affairs possible. Once the balance gets hurt, the control of the nation is lost, and balance can be hurt by the points just you only told me. Right friends? Am I okay? Are you okay with it? So till now, politics, nation, equality, justice. Okay? Is your brain free enough to learn few more things? 1-2 more things? Right? So sir, మీరు పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ ఫుల్ బికావ్ మొత్తం అమ్మేస్తున్నారు ఈరోజే అని అనుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఇది మీరు జనరల్ స్టడీస్ 2లో కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చు, ఎథిక్స్లో కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చు, ఎస్ఏలో కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చు. More so, such kind of approaches will help you in your exam, right? In your exam itself, you can make frameworks like this and be a better person. Now, good sir. Sir, justice also given, equality given, very good. The government is very good, sir. But now comes one point. The government is made by family. India is already very okay with family politics, right? Our favorite is nepotism, right? We are all nepo kids. So one day what happened, one of the family that is in power didn't like the other family or other family person. So what they did, they tried to attack them and create some ruckus. These people, the other family, did not know how to respond, right? Rather they went pillar and post to understand what is actually the concept of influence of this bigger body on this, right? This bigger body affecting this, right? NTR dialogue. Okay? బలహీనుడి పక్కన బలవంతుడి నుంచి ఉంటే మీకు సినిమాలు చూస్తుంటారు ఎలా ఉంటుంది. సో ద పాయింట్ ఈస్, someone should counterweigh this person. This counterweight in India's case is a right to do the rightful things is known as rights of individual. So the biggest counterweight that any family, community, society gets to weigh off the exploitative, powerful nature of the society is nothing but a right. This is antidote to the powerful power. Right? So if the bigger body affects a smaller body, so this is a one-way thing. If the bigger body affects the smaller body, it is power. And then, but on the smaller body can resist the bigger body. It is rights. Right? Is it okay? So this is how we have stacked up two powerful concepts next to each other. One is rights, one is power. Right? Now, if I reimagine the whole diagram, sir, kelke sir mottam board anta, let us write the whole diagram in a very simple manner. Is I take the individual at the center. Now I make the family. Now I make the community. I make the society, state, nation. Now it looks like big country. ఇంతకు ముందు వరకు కూరగాయల మార్కెట్లో ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు now it looks like a big country. Now individual, community, society, state, sorry, nation because international Donald Trump కూడా ఉన్నాడు కాబట్టి, right? Now let us for some time not do this. Okay. You'll get confused unnecessarily. Very bad, right? Okay. Now, sir, what if there is only one person, right? And there are such small different spheres of individual persons together. If they all come together and form a government, right? They all come together and form a government. It is nothing but a direct democracy, right? But India, we don't have such chance. Our parents, grandparents, grandparents made sure that we are big enough or we are large enough to see that we are not direct democracy possible. So we at a different level bring what is known as representative democracy, because for all these circles together we made one representative, right? This is also at different levels you have different representative governments, right? So this we give a very big word every time. India is a democracy. Democracy, rule of the people, right? So what is the ever important nature of this? All the outward circles feed the inward circle. Once the inward circle feeding is lost, the whole collapses. Simple. If we are manakanka tikkaraithe, we will make Vijay Chief Minister. We will make anyone we want Chief Minister or Prime Minister, because the feeding is from the outward feeds the inner, and inner word gives the legitimacy to the outward. Your 1 year topic is done. Your whole 1 year paper is done today. I think we can, if you register, we can collect some of your fees today only. So please go back and check, just to keep the funny side aside, go back and check your 1 year paper. I have explained what is political theory, or at least what I told you what is politics, right? Next I told you what is a state, theories of state. Then we discussed about rights. I think it will justice, sorry, after state will be justice. After justice it will be equality. After equality will be rights, then powers. Then we come into political ideologies and Western, Indian and Western political philosophy, philosophies or something. సో అర్థమైందా? సో అంటే మీరు బయట ఏమవుతుందంటే పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్తో వచ్చిన బిగ్గెస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లం 2 things ఉంటాయి. People are in a misnomer that it's an extremely technical subject where big words and concepts are there, because of which I cannot understand the topic. Once I cannot understand the topic and not excel in it, right? This is wrong, right? At least I hope that today you got an introduction of how to deal with things. Maybe once you dig deeper into these things, you will know it better. That's the first thing. Second thing ఏంటంటే it's absolutely true, no one will deny that it's a topic of heavy competition. Since it is more commonsensical and more value added, lot of people tend to take this topic. So I will not take away any question out of that. It is one of the most successful optionals. It has a success rate of 10%, which is good, which is good for a good optional. It has a consistent success rate of 9 to 10%. అంటే ఎవరైతే యూపీఎస్సీ మెయిన్స్ రాస్తారో దాంట్లో 10% of people get selected from political science. So which is a good success rate if you ask me, right? And consistently you see that people are getting 280 to 300 marks. Not all of them, I would say top 1%, but if you take the top 10-15%, which is more important for us, always UPSC's aspirants in India, they get carried away by the top 1%. Let us be practical for sometimes also. Not always we will be in the top 1%, and law of averages makes us take along the better route. అంటే మీ యావరేజ్ స్కోర్ వేరే యావరేజ్ ఆప్షనల్ కంటే బెటర్ ఉన్నట్టయితే అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ ఫెచింగ్ యూ బెటర్ మార్క్స్ అయితే యూ విల్ సేల్ ది రూట్. వాట్ ఐ వుడ్ సే ఈజ్ యూ గో బ్యాక్ అండ్ చెక్ ది నెక్స్ట్ 10 to 15 percentile, PSIR would be more helpful, because it will put you in that safe bracket of 250, 260 and 270, which is good enough for an optional to take you the route, right? So my suggestion is, on the other hand, will you see that I am putting so much of effort for PSIR, I am ending getting it 250 marks, or would you say that I am getting 250, which is a safe score, but which pushes my average in GS2, essay and ethics also? Let me give my own example. Why to quote others also? I can quote others also. Mine was 270 in my PSIR, 115 in my GS2, 133 in my essay, right? 110 in my ethics. So you end up getting it, you end up pushing the bar in those papers of your concern, that others, if you perform okay on a given day also, you will sail through. నేనేం చెప్తానంటే, అట్లీస్ట్ మై స్టూడెంట్స్ ఐ కీప్ టెల్లింగ్ దిస్, డోంట్ బీ ఓవర్ ఎమోషనల్ అబౌట్ దిస్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్. ఇట్స్ అన్ ఎగ్జామ్ ఎట్ ది ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ది డే. డే 1 నుంచి స్ట్రాటజికల్గా ఎగ్జామ్ ఎలా క్లియర్ చేయాలి అన్న థాట్ ప్రాసెస్లో ఉండండి. అంటే ఏంటి, నాకు ఐఏఎస్ అవ్వాలంటే 1000 మార్క్స్ రావాలి. How do I get the 1000 marks is the quest for the day. Don't get into the noise of, okay, it's the biggest examination. Parents are telling that I am preparing for UPSC civils examination. What if I don't clear? What if my family members think? What if my girlfriend or boyfriend leaves me? There are multiple, I'm just saying, people can have multiple things. Everyone, it is serious for each one of them, right? I think if you take the failure rate of UPSC and love failure rate of UPSC aspirants, I think 2 will be better than 1, right? It is said that how దేశభక్తి కోసం వచ్చి ప్రేమ భక్తి పెరిగిందని యూపీఎస్సీలో there is a famous joke. So my suggestion to you is, from day 1 be more practical. Your guys are more practical, the Gen Z is more practical. See that from day 1 your whole focus is on getting that marks, right? Subject is important, get the marks and go ahead. So I think quickly 3 things. What can you expect from this topic? How has it fared over the past few years? What do we do here? What can you expect? So political science and international relations, no nothing hiding, it is a lengthy topic. ఎందుకంటే 1A 1B 2A 2B all of them are loaded. Especially 1A and 1B, 1A you get a lot of theoretical concepts, 1B you have to link the theoretical concepts in 1A with 1B, 2A is again international relationships theoretical concept, now you link it to 2B. ఇందాక మీకు అన్ని సర్కిల్స్ గోల్ చక్ర గీసి విష్ణు చక్రాల్లాగా ఒక చక్రం ఇంకోటి గీలేదు ఏంటంటే ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిలేషన్స్. సో మన ఇండియాలో మనం ఇన్ని కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మాట్లాడుకున్నప్పుడు యుఎస్ వాడు కూడా ఇన్ని కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మాట్లాడుకుంటాడు కదా. సో వాట్ ఇఫ్ everyone start discussing so many concepts, everyone will be concentric circles and the world is nothing but interaction between these concentric circles. That is what is international world order, right? That is what you will learn in your paper 2. So if you see paper 1, you can explain, you can expect proper political theory where definition of these concepts and the different intricate details of these concepts will be explained, right? What you can expect is two things: a lot of subjective details you can expect, because this is not your civil engineering, mechanical engineering or other engineering where you will have data always stood back, but there will be data, but there will be a lot of historical examples to back the claims. So it is nothing but a concept and an effect, cause and an effect, but here the cause and effect is more subjective in detail. You will get a lot of subjective examples, claims and counterclaims, right? Second thing you can expect is a lot of terminologies. There will be a lot of terminologies in political science which you might have not seen because you are not a civics student. Ante tappinkem ledhu. Once you attend the class, the terminologies will be okay. So two things: one thing you can expect is a lot of concepts and a subjective based explanation, not always an objective explanation. That's the biggest catch. And second one is terminologies. Apart from that, you need not worry, it is like a story. Political science తో వచ్చిన అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటంటే ఇట్స్ ఎ స్టోరీ, ఇట్ వర్క్స్ ఇన్ క్రొనాలజీ. అంటే స్టేట్ ఫస్ట్ ఎప్పుడు ఫామ్ అయింది? గ్రీక్ ఆర్డర్లో ఫామ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. సో గ్రీక్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేసుకుని శుభ్రంగా వరల్డ్ టూర్ వేసుకుంటూ మళ్ళీ ఇండియాకి వచ్చేంత వరకు నడుస్తూనే ఉంటుంది, కథలు చెప్తూనే ఉంటారు అన్నమాట. మొత్తం అన్నీ అంతా కథలే. మధ్యాహ్నం క్లాస్ తీసుకుంటే శుభ్రంగా ఏసీ పక్కన మనం వేసుకోవచ్చు. సో అలా అవాయిడ్ చేయాలంటే దానికి టైమింగ్స్ చూసుకోండి. So this is what 1A is all about. Now 1B is saying that 1B is Akhand Bharat. 1B is like so many concepts you have read in 1A. What if you have learned from 1A and tried to create a nation on our own, right? So 1A లో మొత్తం కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అంతా మన వాళ్ళు చదివేసి ఇండియాలో పెట్టేద్దాం అనుకున్నారు. అన్నీ పెట్టేద్దాం అనుకున్నారు కాబట్టి మనం ఇలా ఉన్నాం. ఏమో కొన్ని పెట్టుంటే బాగానే ఉండేది, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ 1B. యూ సీ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో లైక్ అట్లీస్ట్ దేజావు. మీరు హిస్టరీ క్లాస్ కనుక వినుంటే 1Bలో స్టార్టింగ్లో చాలా వరకు హిస్టరీ, ఇండియన్ నేషనల్ హిస్టరీ గురించి అట్లీస్ట్ యూ సీ ది డిఫరెంట్ నేషనల్ మూమెంట్స్ అండ్ ది ఇండియన్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ సెటప్ అన్నీ ఉంటాయి. సో మీకు డౌట్ కూడా ఏం రావచ్చు అంటే మనం జనరల్ స్టడీస్ 2 పేపర్ చూస్తున్నామా, PSIR 1B చూస్తున్నామని. వీఆర్ లుకింగ్ ఎట్ PSIR 1B ఓన్లీ because it's almost like an exact, sometimes copy paste of what's happening in GS2 and 1B also. That's the biggest advantage. Your answer writing in GS2 will be a notch ahead, I can bet and guarantee you, because మీరు ఎంత PSIRలో చదువుంటారంటే మనం కొంచెం అప్పుడప్పుడు షో ఆఫ్ చేయడానికైనా సరే PSIRలో ఒక లైన్ తీసుకెళ్ళి 1Bలో పడేస్తుంటాం. అరే ప్లాటో సెడ్ లైక్ దిస్ అబౌట్ స్టేట్ డెమోక్రసీ సంథింగ్ లైక్ దిస్ అని చెప్పి, రైట్? సో దట్ ఈస్ అవర్ ఫెచింగ్ పాయింట్. సో వన్స్ యూ సీ the second half of this is a challenge for most of the political science students. I will not deny it. And also just to give you 1B low questions GS2 lo ravu. GS2 there can be more factual based questions, or you can have questions which are a contemporary based. But on the other hand, political science loki vachepati they are more thematic. Thematic ఏంటంటే ఒక ఇండివిజువల్ ఇన్సిడెంట్ గురించి అడగకపోయినా సరే ద హోల్ థీమ్ దే వుడ్ కవర్. లైక్ ఫెడరల్ ఇష్యూస్ చాలా వస్తున్నట్టయితే ద హోల్ ఆఫ్ ఫెడరలిజం దే మైట్ ఆస్క్, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్. అండ్ ఫర్ యూ యాజ్ అ పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ స్టూడెంట్ ఒక క్యాప్స్యూల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఉండడం ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఒక జనరల్ స్టడీ స్టూడెంట్కి మీకు ఒక డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటంటే ఫెడరలిజం గురించి అడిగితే యూ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు టాక్ ఆన్ ది మల్టిపుల్ ఫ్యాసెట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫెడరలిజం. right? Link multiple facets. Like అసలు ఫెడరలిజం అంటే ఏంటి? ఇండియాలో there is a constitution, there are different levels of state. ఆ లెవెల్స్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్ మధ్య దేర్ కెన్ బి కమ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ ఇష్యూస్, సమ్ పొలిటికల్ ఇష్యూస్. అలాగా దాన్ని అన్వ్రాప్ చేసుకుంటూ కంపైల్ చేసుకునే ఛాలెంజ్ మీ దగ్గర ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. ఒక జనరల్ స్టడీస్ 2 దగ్గర అంత ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయరు, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ హెడ్స్ అప్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. బట్ a small challenge which most of the students we have seen and even the faculty also face is 1Bలో second half, when we are explaining you the political sociology and the psephology part, because it is not very straightforward. Neither there are very excellent reading materials, or it is dynamic to the aspect that you need to get on the newspapers and different compendiums to get the data. And అప్పుడప్పుడు ఆ ఇంటర్ప్లే ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే సొసైటల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ని పొలిటికల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ని క్లబ్ చేయడం ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ సో స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్, రైట్? సో దానివల్ల సమ్టైమ్స్ వీ విల్ ఫైండ్ మోర్ సబ్జెక్టివిటీ ఇన్ దిస్ టాపిక్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ అ బిట్ ఛాలెంజింగ్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఇన్ 1B. If not, it's a good sail through. Generally, students will be more interested to write more questions from their 1B part in their in the changing trends of paper. ఇంతకుముందు 1A రాసేమనేవాళ్ళు, అన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ 1A మని. Now people are changing also. Next 2A. పేపర్ 2A is comparative politics. ఇందాకే అనుకున్నాం కదా, ఇక్కడ కాన్సెంట్రిక్ సర్కిల్ని ఇక్కడ కాన్సెంట్రిక్ సర్కిల్ కంపేర్ చేయాలి. సో ద వర్డ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఈస్ కంపారిటివ్ పాలిటిక్స్ అండ్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిలేషన్స్. సో how do you compare between different nations is what you will learn. Asal methods of comparison you will learn in the initial days, and then you will try to compare between different systems. Finally, ఇందాక 1A లో కథలు చెప్పినట్టు 2A లో కూడా శుభ్రంగా you will have stories from 1950 to 2026. Happily you will have good stories you can listen. After the stories are done, you will come to 2B. And 1A second half also is loaded with current affairs based topics. So one advantage is, sir చెప్పిందాక చాలా మంచి పాయింట్ చెప్పారు, it is statistically proven that 30 to 50% of the topics repeat in PSIR. సో మీరు 1A 1Bని అటాక్ చేసే స్ట్రాటజీ ఎలా ఉండాలంటే ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ చూసే స్ట్రాటజీ ఉండాలి. 1A 1Bని ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్తో ట్యాకిల్ చేయాలి, స్టాటిక్ పార్ట్ని ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్తో. ఎప్పుడైతే డైనమిక్ పోర్షన్ వచ్చిందో అగ్రెసివ్గా కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్కి వెళ్ళాలి. అగ్రెసివ్గా కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ వెళ్ళి ముందే ఒక 100 టాపిక్స్ పికప్ చేసుకుని దాన్ని కవర్ చేయాలి. సేమ్ విత్ 2A. 2Aలో స్టార్టింగ్ అంతా స్టాటిక్ కథలు, సెకండ్ అంతా డైనమిక్ న్యూస్ పేపర్. 2Bకి వచ్చేపాటికి విచ్ ఈస్ ఎ పేపర్ ఐ విల్ బి టేకింగ్ కంప్లీట్లీ 2B. సో 2B is completely do with India and India's international relations, especially where India is a dominant part. Here we have divided the whole 2B, which I will take into 10 capsules. In 10 capsules or 10 classes, we will be covering the history part and the current part. So 2B anta ఏ కాన్సెప్ట్ మీద నడుస్తామంటే politics is past history, history is present politics, right? So we are going to study that the interrelationship between politics and history, how history was nothing but past politics, right? Politics is nothing but present history, right? How it will be created for the, it will be giving a cause for the next one. చాలా తీసుకుని మనం మొత్తం 10 క్యాప్సూల్స్లో కవర్ చేస్తాం. దిస్ ఈజ్ హౌ విల్ కవర్ ది టాపిక్. యాజ్ ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ, సమ్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ ఆర్ 30% టాపిక్స్ కమ్ అగైన్. 8.99% is the selection rate, right? Few advantages are you will have good coaching in, material, all test series value added available, but obviously the challenges are it's a highly competitive optional, and you will have to go through a lot of civics based topics where terminologies and subjectivity is included. So how do we do here? At R.C.Reddy, we try to cover the syllabus in a span of 4 to 6 months, right? So paper 1 is predominantly taken by Krupadanam sir, he is a senior faculty. Paper 2, me and Ratnakar sir will be together. But apart from that, myself, Vishwanath, I will be available continuously for your PSIR. There is a PSIR channel that we have in our R.C.Reddy. You can ask the admin to get added to that. In that, we do initiatives like regular answer writing. Every day you have the answer writing. So every day a topic of interest we'll take, 2 questions we'll put, you can write the answer, we'll evaluate by the, or we will give answers by the end of the day. So like that, I am continuously available 24/7 in the group. I am available, right? In class, I will be available for your 2B part. That's the second thing. Apart from that, this year we are especially focusing on two things. One, just to give you a point, in the class all the topics will be covered and handwritten notes will be provided or printed notes will be available. We are planning to give you the PYQ questions of all the last 15 years, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B questions. You will have question booklets. In those question booklets, you will have the approach and you will have the answer. So the approach on how to approach the question, deconstruct the question and write the answer, right? Apart from that, we are planning other initiatives also, but this is what you can expect from the from our course here. So this is all more or less from my side. I think we have taken a lot of time. You have any questions, please? If you have any questions, you please ask me. Time and then 11:30 and 12 okay. Yeah, you can ask. Then we have half an hour more. I thought it's 11:30 only. Yeah, batch, I think they let you know it will start hardly in 10 days, like that. I'll let you know. They will chapter. Separate book? No. That is the biggest point of political science. FOMO untundi. People end up reading a lot more things. If it is required, we will suggest you in class. If you are struggling any place where you require more notes on it. But I would say I can give you some general guidelines. So they say for 1A OP Gauba is good. You can read OP Gauba. But OP Gauba ee books annitiki oka challenge cheptanu gurtupeట్టుకోండి. They are not written for UPSC. You have to understand that point. They are not written for UPSC. So if you read OP Gauba, they will give you different political ideologies, but they will give you at such length which is not required for your examination. They won't ask you at length for your examination. Or if you take DU materials, they say JNU, DU and IGNO materials. They are also good materials, but again they are not written for your UPSC examination. Right? Next, 1B. 1B also there is not much required in terms of your other reading that is required. 2A, I think Andrew Haywood is one thing they will suggest. Introduction to International Politics, Andrew Haywood. But Andrew Haywood is a heavily bulky book. Again, I would ask you not read it. But Andrew Haywood lo oka advantage endante, Andrew Haywood has good definitions of your concepts. So whenever you are stuck in your 2A concepts, you can go back just on the left side of the page, there is a glossary whenever the topic is discussed. You can just read the glossary for the concept, but I wouldn't say don't read the book. In fact, 2A meer book chadavalante, there is a good NCERT textbook, 11th class or 12th class NCERT textbook. Introduction to, again, International Politics. Please read that book. That is very good. 2B I would suggest don't read any book. If you want to read, please read Ministry of External Affairs. They have regular press releases. Read them and read some good commentary on 2B. That will be enough. Right? Rather, meeku 2 paper PSIR మొత్తంలో కావాల్సింది ఏంటంటే multiple readings, revision and understanding. That is more enough rather than reading multiple textbooks. Multiple revisions are more important. Anything else? Anything else that you want to know from me? In general also you can ask. It need not be that, sir, if I ask more questions, is it that I should register for your course only, then I can ask? It's not like that. You are in a way juniors to me also in the examination. You can ask any questions that you want. Good point. Actually, that happens. What your friend asked is a very important point that we see when people write also. There are two fixes for it. One thing what happens is, in political science, you just don't read Marxism. You end up reading so many ideologies that it will leave influence of different ideologies on you. It is not only predominantly Marxism that you will read. And you will read the criticism of Marxism also. That is one thing theoretically I can say. Second is that happens in the classroom approach. when you write answers that we told in the topic of interest or the channel that we do, what happens is somewhere or the other the faculty catches you when you sees that approach, that you are being obscurely going towards one of the ideologies. It is the duty of the faculty like me to sit there and say that no, they are going in the singular direction where you must change modularly. In fact, ఇవన్నీ ఏంటంటే అండి ఇప్పుడు బాగా పెరుగుతున్నాయి. Diagnosis is a very important aspect, not just for patient but for PSIR student also. When you have so many things in your head, what comes out on the paper should not be monkey bath, neither monkey bath. You should not do monkey bath also, right? Monkey bath, both are not allowed. You should see, you write to the focus of the question. When you are diverting from there, it is both responsibility of you and me also to go in the direction. That happens only when you write more and more. It is not ideological problem, I don't think. UPSC straightens you to such an extent that all your ideologies will slowly wash out. Yeah, anything else? But yeah, few things for sure. It will be tiring, like many optionals this will be tiring. I don't want to hide facts from you. It will be tiring because there are a lot of concepts that hit in your mind. But sabr ka phal meeta hota hai. It's like the end fruit, I would definitely say for PSIR, is more a good rounded individual. That's for sure, 100%. I have not come across one political science optional student who does not have a good common sense. He will definitely have a better common sense in terms of worldly understanding than anyone else because of the subject matter. If you are okay, if you have any no more questions, thank you. You can come attend the classes, we will be there to help you out. If not also, you can join the political science PSIR channel. You can get information from the ground in the office. You can get information there. We ran for at least few months the answer writing module, but from February or March we gave a break because students will be focusing on prelims. Again now we are starting, we will start again now. There you can write, get updates, right? Any doubts you can have in the discussion channel. Is that okay? Okay, thank you then.